My ex-girlfriend, who slept with my brother the day before our wedding, contacted me 12 years later, just 1 week before my new wedding. This time, I want revenge. I'm Jack, 38 years old, and I'm about to marry my wonderful fiancée, Lisa, who is 35 and with whom I've been together for 4 years. This is my second engagement. 12 years ago, I was about to marry my ex-girlfriend, Sarah, who was also 38. She was my first love, and we had been together for almost 10 years. We had even lived together for 5 years. Naturally, I was ready to get married, and it seemed she was too. My family adored Sarah and was thrilled when I announced our engagement, but it didn't happen. Just one day before the wedding, Sarah ended up sleeping with my brother, Mac, who is 34. Sarah had told me to spend the night before the wedding at a hotel while she stayed at home. She thought we needed to be apart to avoid bad luck, so I did as she asked. Unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, I forgot my shoes at home and had to go back for them a few hours after arriving at the hotel. When I returned home, I was shocked to find the lights off in the living room, as Sarah hated turning off lights when leaving a room. I went straight to the bedroom, where I had left the shoe box because it was special to me. When I opened the bedroom door, I was met with the worst sight I had ever seen. Sarah was in bed with my brother, and they were so engrossed in their activity that they barely noticed me enter the room. Only after a few seconds did they realize I was there, but I was literally paralyzed and didn't know how to react. My world collapsed. As soon as I realized what I had witnessed, I ran out while Sarah called after me. I drove back to the hotel, hyperventilating and in a panic, and vehemently refused to believe what I had seen. I was supposed to get married the next day, so it was just madness. It took me a while to calm down once I got to my room, and when I finally did, I ended up crying for at least an hour. Fortunately, I hadn't told Sarah which hotel I was staying at, so she couldn't find me and could only text me, which she did. She sent a bunch of apology messages and tried to convince me that it was a one-time thing, but I doubted it greatly. She also said that the wedding was scaring her, so she needed to relax, and my brother had always been there for her, so she didn't know who else to turn to. I could hardly believe she was trying to explain herself after what I had seen, and I blocked her immediately. I also blocked my brother since I wasn't interested in his fake apologies. It took some time, but I managed to pull myself together and cancel all the wedding arrangements, no matter how much money I lost. The most important thing was to get out of that mess. Sarah had wasted 10 years of my life, so I didn't care about wasting a few $1,000s if it meant I wouldn't have to be with her anymore. The next thing I did was call my parents and tell them what had happened. They were really confused about whether to console me or cut ties with my brother. I gave them time to think about it. By then, it was quite late, so I ordered some dinner and cried until I fell asleep. After that day, I only saw Sarah twice, once when she came home to pack her things and leave, and the second time a few years later at a mutual friend's party, where she tried to talk to me, but I left as soon as I saw her coming towards me. My brother and I haven't spoken since then because my parents disinherited him for what he did. The last I heard of him, he was working in Europe and hadn't returned in years. Anyway, all that was in the past, and I managed to move on. I'm in a better place now and definitely with a better woman whom I trust completely. Everything was going well until a few days ago, exactly 1 week before my wedding, when Sarah contacted me. I don't know how she found out about me or my wedding, but she reached out from a new Facebook account since I had blocked her original one. She sent a bunch of messages about how devastated she was to find out that I was getting married again. It struck me as odd that she said again because although we almost got married, we never actually did. It felt like total déjà vu, the way she begged me to take her back despite what she had done and how I was the only man she had ever truly loved. It affected me, and I told Lisa about it immediately. Part of me was so disturbed by this that I wanted to teach Sarah a lesson for bothering me before my wedding, but another, more vengeful part really wanted revenge. I knew I had done the right thing all those years ago and had handled the situation like an adult, but this time, I wanted to hurt her in a way that she would never think of contacting me again. When I told Lisa what I was feeling, she fully agreed, even though she had also been cheated on in the past. Though it wasn't a 10-year relationship, it still hurt her. So she knew how I felt, but Lisa didn't just agree, she was fully involved, pushing me to go beyond what I had ever considered. She looked at me with her cold eyes and said, "Jack, that woman deserves everything that's coming to her. If you want revenge, let's do it right." She was relentless, and it surprised me. I had never seen that side of her before, but it was clear as day. So this time, instead of letting it pass, we devised a plan for revenge to ensure that Sarah would experience the same pain she had caused me. A few hours after receiving her message, I decided to respond, saying that I was finally ready to talk to her. She said she was ready to come to my house immediately, but I told her to stay in a nearby hotel, and I would meet her the next day so Lisa wouldn't suspect anything. Of course, Lisa was by my side while I spoke to her. She agreed to everything, and so the next day, I went to her hotel at the agreed time. Sarah seemed ecstatic to see me and was genuinely crying tears of joy, but soon she would be crying real tears. I sat her down, and she began to explain how remorseful she had been over these 12 years and wanted to make amends but didn't know how until she heard from a friend that I was getting married again and knew she had to message me one last time or lose me forever. I listened attentively and even pretended to be interested, holding her hands while she spoke. Meanwhile, I was just waiting for Lisa to arrive. Almost 20 minutes later, there was a knock at the door, and I hurried to open it. Lisa came in, followed by all our bridesmaids and groomsmen, wearing masks with my brother's face on them. They also brought a cake with my brother's face smiling on it. I had other plans. After Sarah could process what was happening, she started sobbing and mumbling incoherently while crying, but I wasn't going to let her go so easily. She had the audacity to message me just a week before my wedding, even after cheating on me with my own brother the day before our wedding. So now she had to face the consequences of her actions. I told her that this was what she deserved and that if she thought she had any chance with me after cheating on me, she was completely wrong. She had no right to message me after what she had put me through, and I was glad she was hurt because she had brought it on herself. I was really cold and harsh in telling her all this, but she continued crying and said that if I didn't want her back, I should have ignored and blocked her instead of humiliating her this way. But I felt no pity for her, then or now. I told her never to speak to me again and left her there. You can click on share and more to see if there is a part 2.